Yesterday, and we had a little bit of panel bashing yesterday, as you heard earlier on, between Carl Breeze and Frank Rathel, who lines up there in the orange car, third on the grid. Then I think we could be in for a cracking race. But certainly, as you said, Fulvio Mussi, very, very determined there. The front row car on the right of shot. He's looking to go from P2 into P1 as they go off the line. Mussi quick, but Nathan Freak is that much quicker. Tom Sharp making a great start from the third row of the grid. Keep your eyes on Carl Breeze as well, who's trying to come up. Jochen Ritter in the mix as well. Paul Sheard at the back, not away as quickly as last time, but Nathan Freak gets a very good start. Colin White spins again.
Yeah, that's exactly what we said about the cold tyre problem. Very easily done here, especially because you are using an awful lot of curb. Watch how they come through here, take all of that curb. The car clatters down on the suspension at the back, and the car will move around an awful lot. Here, as they turn in, they're going to take a lot of curbing on the inside as get again and all the way out. So that's a slightly different technique to the one you would have seen earlier. As you see a little bit of dust kicked up, I think that was Carl Breeze, but Mussi got a really, really good run all the way down out of Carlo down to the hairpin.
Here comes Fulvio Mussi around the outside. Keep your eyes on third place because Frank Rathel's looking for third place. Oh, contact there between the two. Off wide goes Mussi. Now here comes Frank Rathel. Up the inside, he's through. Frank Rathel into second place. Nathan Freak leads. Lap record holder Frank Rathel in orange is second. Mussi third. Now coming under pressure from Tom Sharp. Sharp's having a great weekend in the second of the orange cars. Round the outside, Mussi grabs the line as they come down St. Curves. Now here they come then down into Leslie's. Down towards Scotsman, and challenging for the lead is Rathel. This is absolutely cracking stuff.
Yeah, Rathel are very, very good on this cold tyres we've been talking about, and certainly a couple of races earlier in the season, you've really seen him attack and took an awful chunk of curve that time. Had a real big slide as he came through, but naturally very, very talented is Frank in terms of his car control. Bit of a controversial coming together with Carl Breeze yesterday, and ended up with some fairly big points in his licence as a result of that one. Carl ended up not finishing, so there's no love lost there, bearing in mind that Carl Breeze's teammate, Fulvio Mussi, is breathing down his neck.
Look at Mussi round the outside as they come into real rain there, taking a big, big wide line. Is there going to be room on the outside? Rathel didn't go as wide as he could have done there. Hangs on to second place. Mussi in third position. Tom Sharp in fourth. Now fourth, getting defensive from Carl Breeze. He's dropping back a little bit. Keep your eyes on Benji Hetherington in red. He's all over the back of Carl Breeze as well.
Yeah, very impressive from the young 17-year-old. He's really starting to get on top of it. A bit of a mixed campaign he's doing with this and with his single-seater stuff as well. So certainly a very, very big challenge for a young man there. But we saw last year's champion was just 16 years old, Nigel Moore, and he's been racing at Le Mans this year for Ginetta in the Zytek. So if you're good enough, you're old enough, if you see what I mean.
Absolutely right. Now here you come. Slow-mo of the first lap. That's Colin White taking a spin. Take a work wheel on the curb there. The Glastonbury man, the triple hot rod world champion. Let's not forget Colin's credentials on the short ovals. Bit of a difficulty there. It's the challenge for the lead. They did get in front.
Yeah, there was a little bit of contact there. I think Freak just tapped the back of Fulvio Mussi's car there. Not intentionally, I don't think. I think it was because as Fulvio turned in, they kind of sort of fell over each other. Now look in the background, Sharp's dropped down certainly behind Breeze, and looks like possibly Hetherington's got the run as well.
Yeah, Benji Hetherington looking up the inside. He's been running in the Lotus Cup as well, and he's through on the inside of Tom Sharp and challenging Carl Breeze. Benji's going to be well pleased with this performance, but keep your eyes on Tom Sharp at the back in orange. Great three-way scrap between these. Now we really ideally like them to get their heads down and join the leaders and have a six-car scrap for the lead. That will be something else to watch. As you watch Breeze in fourth place, Hetherington in 72, the red car, and then Tom Sharp, both young drivers. Hetherington goes defensive. This allows Carl Breeze a little bit of a chance now to have something sideways there. Great car control, getting it back.
Yeah, really did well to catch that one, but it means Sharp will have momentum, have a little bit of a better run, although quite possibly because Hetherington was so sideways, he maybe feathered the throttle a little bit. Meanwhile, the scrap at the front does seem to be settling down a little bit. Last time, Nathan Freak set the fastest lap, 54.173, as they cross the line now, 53.812, 54.0 for Rathel, 54.4 for Mussi, so we'll be Mussi losing a little bit of time on that lap. And now Hetherington is under pressure again from Sharp.
There's a little bit of a way down, isn't he, after qualifying so well yesterday, mixed conditions. And of course, unlike the Formula Renault that we're used to seeing on the touring car package, these guys have one qualifying session in the G50, so they have much more race time than qualifying time, and the best 3 laps determine the grid positions for each of the 3 races. The best lap determines your grid position for race 1, second best time for race 2, and third best time for race 3. So it does actually allow for a little bit of a jiggle around in terms of the grids, but not so good having one qualifying session if you go off early on.
Yeah, absolutely right, and that's occasionally what has happened, not just in the Ginetta G50, but in some of the other support races like Carrera Cup and also the Ginetta Juniors. They run for the same format of taking your best couple of times. It's only the G50s and the touring cars that get 3 races in a weekend, so it's great that we see these spectacular 300 horsepower V6 cars with wonderful sound and wonderful look to the cars as well. And interestingly, Ginetta are introducing a new car for next year, the Ginetta G40, which is going to replace the current Ginetta Junior. And it looks like a baby version of this, so we're going to have some even more spectacular, even more fantastic cars to look at. And Ginetta is a force to be reckoned with in terms of the way that they're bringing drivers on. And I'm sure we'll see just as an exciting crop of youngsters coming through for the juniors for next year.
Yeah, I'm sure the racing's going to be equally as good next year as it has been the last couple of seasons for the juniors. Of course, they've got more of a history than that, longer than we've been watching them on TV. It's been a super championship over the years. And really, got to say, it's probably been the choice of most drivers coming into junior racing, certainly at this level. But, we're looking at this battle for 5th position. Hetherington still leading. Now, Jochen Ritter coming under pressure a little bit there from Julian Draper in 8th. Qualified a little bit further up in the Collard's Motorsport car. Collard's, of course, run by Clive Richards down there in Sussex. What a long trip they've had this weekend. I'm sure very well worth their while coming up and challenging for position as Breeze turns down into the Sayat curves once again from Benji Hetherington. Just dropping away a little bit at the moment. And got to say, the pressure from Tom Sharp not particularly strong at the moment. We're only at, just coming up to around about 3rd distance. Great look across the track as we look across to the John O'Weir chicane, formerly known as McIntyres, for those of you perhaps a little bit longer in the tooth to remember pre-sponsorship days, the corner names. Now up towards Carloop corner. Nice little bit of cover there for some of the spectators to sit under if we do get some of that occasional Scottish rain up here. Good place, exciting place to watch, good overtaking position as well. And then down Hislops and down towards Real Radio Hairpin they go. There's Ritter keeping it out of the gravel this time. The Dane, one of the good characters actually, always up for a little bit of a laugh and loves his racing. Did production BMWs before coming into this championship, and he's got the better of Sheardy in this one, hasn't he?
He certainly has, and that's going to be a little scrap that's important to watch, isn't it, for the balance of this race. But Nathan Freak now, just another fastest lap, 53.753, and as you can see, and it's about a 1/10 of a second quicker than Rathel. Mussie's pace has just dropped away a little bit. He's doing the low 54s at the moment. And in fact, Fulvio Mussi and Carl Breeze are now wrapping at about the same sort of time.
It's the leader's dad and the Century Motorsport team, of course. One of many teams still, you know, you watch these and watch guys winning. I mentioned this in the junior race, you know, with Jake Cook done it, he's struggling for budget. Jake told me that. These guys still need backing as well, don't they, the ones that are out there. It's a big problem for a lot of these racers to keep on, but as you said to me earlier on, you know, you've really got to be out there just to try and get the backing, and across goes Freak. This is the best place for him to be, out front after lap 8. And now Frank Rathel gets the fastest lap of the race, 53.734. The second place man is mounting a challenge on the leader, and Benji Hetherington having a look at Carl Breeze.
Yeah, Hetherington, very impressive, because Breeze, of course, last time out at Snetterton had a treble victory, won all 3 races, absolutely on fire around there. Had a bit of a tough time of it so far. He said he got contact with Rathel in the first race, which put him out of the race. And in the race earlier on today with mixed conditions, didn't quite fall into Carl's hands. The talent is clearly there, the pace is there, but today I think it's more about Hetherington being really quick than it is being than Breeze not being so quick, if you see what I mean. It's more that Hetherington's doing the impressive job.
He is, isn't he? And of course Benji with a couple of meetings under his belt in this championship, a young driver cutting his teeth in the world of car racing and getting as much experience in different machinery as he can. Mightily impressive, I think. He's been running very strongly in Formula Ford, as we heard. A little bit of Lotus running, and what he's doing in here for the Century Motorsport EOS production teams is very impressive. He comes offline, he's going to look down the inside as he comes into the circus. Breeze read that well, Breeze didn't. Hetherington overdoes it, bounce him over, there goes it now. That's always the danger there, is that you catch another car as you come through, but he didn't.
Yeah, well, that was always going to be difficult because he carried so much speed. Carl Breeze, I think, kind of dummied him a little bit into getting him a bit later on the brakes than was ideal. And obviously, there's only so much road drops away there. Here you go. Look at how late Hetherington is on the brake. A little lock up from Breeze as well. Takes a bit too much curb. Flicks the car over through the gravel. A big old ride and cowboy moment there. Takes a bit of bodywork off, and as soon as it comes back on, and dirt on the tyres, and there we are then. Off he goes.
Damage limitation here. I mean, bad news for Benji, but I was trying to say, when you hear it Knockhill, when you do that move that he's just done, the big danger is that you come back onto the track, into the face of the traffic coming through. Thankfully, no more damage for anyone else.
Yeah, I also just wondered if possibly there was some suspension damage for Hetherington, as he came down with